you've just come back from the US. How was that? How was pre-season and how are you feeling going into the new season now?
I actually really enjoyed it. It's like the first sort of real commercial trip of its kind that we've done for that long. The US and Washington Spirit were great hosts, so that was nice, and we got some time to spend as a team together, like downtime as well as some hard work. So yeah, glad to see the back of it because it means we're getting closer to the start of the season, but I had a good time.
I noticed while you were out there, you met a certain Jason Sudeikis who was wearing, I believe, a shirt with your name on it.
Yeah, I know Jason quite well, so he made a joke. He's been to a couple of games and he's never seen me play because I've been injured. So that was the first time I was fit. So yeah, he made the trip down from New York, which is really nice.
Are you a Ted Lasso fan?
I am. Slightly biased because he is my friend, but I think it's great.
That's great to hear. Fingers crossed for next season, of course.
Yeah.
So, as you mentioned, we're closing in on the start of the WSL now.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about Arsenal and how you guys are shaping up ahead of the new season?
Yeah, I think we've had a fairly consistent squad now for a couple of years, and there's only been a couple of changes. So, in terms of building momentum, we're kind of picking up where we left off, and we finished the season strong. And yeah, it feels like we're building rather than it's not been a complete overhaul of everything, which is quite a nice feeling sometimes. So yeah, I feel good. Things are starting to take shape, training by training. So hopefully by the time that comes around, we'll be ready.
And something that's really exciting this season is the Emirates becoming your permanent home. What does that mean to you?
It means the world. Obviously being an Arsenal fan myself, to play there I just think it's the standard of professionalism that the game needs, and the facilities and what's on offer is what we're deserving of, I think. But also you got to think for all of our families, and I mean I'm from here and my family are Arsenal fans, but even the girls that play for this club that don't necessarily live here, for their families to come over and experience game days like that as well, it puts a little bit of extra meaning on playing for Arsenal.
And that process of having that change, was that something the players were a big part of? I mean, we spoke to Beth Mead last season who said she was really pushing for it. Was that something you guys really wanted?
Yeah, we've been in these conversations for, I think like 5 or 6 years now. Vinay was a massive part of it. I know he's obviously moved on now, but he was a great ally for us. And not even an ally, just made, it's no secret that pushing the women's game in general, not just women's football here at Arsenal, is one of the club's focuses. So for them to commit to it in the first place was great, but to have seen it develop and seen it grow the way it has, and the job that they've done, because it's not something that should be done just like that. It needs to be sustainable, and it needs to be a consistent sort of trajectory, and I think the club have managed to do that.
Yeah, and a change we hope we'll see across the WSL, of course.
I hope so. I hope so.
Now you've got some new signings who will be playing at the Emirates for the first time. Talk to me about Daphne, Rosa. How are they settling in? Mariona, what's it been like getting to know them?
Yeah, it's been great. I think that's why pre-season trips are so good. You all sort of get thrown in at the deep end, but it's great when you come out the other side. You've got new teammates, new friends. But it's been great to see them play. I feel like Mariona and Rosa are both so creative, and I came off the training pitch today as well with Mariona. We've seen her play less in America, but she's an incredible footballer. And today was my first real experience of being on our team and stuff like that. So these players sort of take you back when they do things that you don't see often, which is great. And Daphne's had obviously a slower build in. Didn't play much in America, but she's fitting in nicely. We've got Dutch contingent here already, so she's all right. But it's been nice to have them in, and they've settled in really well.
Did they have to do any kind of initiation?
No, Kim protects them from that. If I had my way, then they'd all be subject to initiation. But Kim always protects the new girls and doesn't like to put them on the spot.
What would they have to do if it was up to you?
I'll sing 100%. I want to hear notes and bars. Yeah, whatever they have to offer. But yeah, maybe we'll see. Got
to make it happen.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about Jonas Eidevall. Obviously, you've kind of seen the development over recent seasons. What's it like working with him?
Yeah, he's a very, very receptive man in terms of communication between us and him. I think like I say, you can see the growth over the 3 years, but we have underachieved, and he feels the same way as us about that. So, I feel like we're aligned going into the new season, and it's just bringing out the best of ourselves on the pitch. But he's brought this I think we realised as soon as he came in, he brought this intensity, this sort of, but yeah, I'd say just a higher intensity to the way that we played to go on top of the ball possession, which has transformed us. And in the last couple of years, we've performed well against those top teams, I think, because of that.
And for you personally, I mean, it's not just Jason Sudeikis who's got your name. It's so many young girls and boys all around the country and around the world. What does that mean to you to be that kind of figure?
It's crazy to me. I can't really connect to that. Still don't really understand it, like from my point of view. But I think if you look at it the way I choose to look at it is that I'm visible, and they have the opportunity, if they want to do that, to get my name, my teammates' names on the back of their shirts. And I think the visibility is the most important thing for me. And if it's one thing me being visible on a pitch, but them sort of carrying those names out into playgrounds, sports teams, it just normalises the fact that we're playing football, because believe it or not, there's still a few out there that are against it.
And who was that figure, or those figures for you growing up? Who was it whose shirt you had on the back of your shirt?
There's a really cool video in my grandparents' living room, and I've got Rachel Yankee's name on my back, number 11, the England shirt, and I'm giving it all of this. She was probably the first, or she must have been the first women's player that I had on my back, and I ended up playing with her, so it's not a bad story.
I wanted to ask you quickly about Lionesses. Obviously, qualification for Euro 2025, just one of the things you've done over summer, of course.
Yeah.
What was that like, and what happens now leading up to the tournament?
It was really important for us, because now you get to plan your year ahead of the tournament, same as we had that opportunity before 2022. Get to play the opposition that you need to play to test yourself and see where you're at, which you can see with the fixtures that have already been announced. So it was really, really important for us. I'm really happy that we did it. Obviously, we didn't top the group. That was our own doing, but we put ourselves in a good position. And like I say, now it's about exposing yourself as much as possible over the next year, so that by the time we get to the tournament, we're ready.
And for you personally, you've achieved so much now, winning the Euros, England captain, all that you've done with Arsenal. What comes next? What's the focus for you personally over the next couple of years?
To be the best footballer I can be. I'll never stop giving back to the game. I think it's part of my responsibility to leave it knowing that I did everything, and every conversation I could have been in, and every sort of push and banging on doors, etc., to keep the game moving forward, which is why I'm proud to be at Arsenal. It feels like a very collaborative approach to increasing the interest in women's football. But I think for me now, I'm hitting these years as a central defender where I think you're meant to see the best of yourself, and I intend to get to that level.
And finally, a message for the fans?
A message to the fans is that, firstly, last season they were incredible, even home, especially away, and now I think we've given back to them in a sense of the club's given back in a sense of being at the Emirates. But I hope that they have more to celebrate this year, so I'm asking them to stick with us and enjoy coming to the games. And like I say, I'll be enjoying my time on the pitch, so I hope they enjoy it in the stands.
I'm sure they will. If you've got 1 second, I wanted to do a quick game of teammates with you. It's going to be quick fire.
Okay.
So, and this is current Arsenal players.
All right.
Who has got the best trainers?
Best trainers? Oh, great question. Alessia Russo.
Best dress sense?
I'll probably go Alessia Russo as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, we're going to have to check out our dress sense. Worst dress sense?
The worst dress sense. I don't think anyone dresses terribly in my team, but I know that Kim literally has one rail of clothes. So I'd say in terms of variety, she lacks, but I think she always looks nice.
Cool. Best music taste?
Vic or Les.
Are they on the aux normally?
I normally am, to be fair, in a changing room, but we have a few. Cody, Vic, Les, they step up. It's good.
Worst music taste?
The worst music taste. I don't know. I probably, on my worst day, I wouldn't want to listen to Cody's music because it's so positive and upbeat and pumped up.
That's fair. Very diplomatic answer.
Yeah.
Fastest player?
Emily Fox, I believe.
Most skillful?
Rose is probably in there now with the flicks and tricks.
Smartest player?
Smartest player? Kim Little or Mariona. I'm yet to see the full sort of effect of that. Yeah.
Answer pending that. Grumpiest in the mornings?
Me.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely me.
Who's always late to training?
It's probably me. I don't think anyone's really late, actually. Rosa's been late a couple of times, and it's her first couple of weeks, so she's been let off. But she says she's not very good at timekeeping, so I'll go with her.
And finally, the biggest joker?
Beth Mead.
Lovely.
No doubt.
Thank you so much, Leah.
Thanks.